Alright folks, so today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing and review of the PowerA officially licensed Nintendo Switch Gamecube style controller. Now I'm a big fan of the original Gamecube controller, so I'm quite excited to get into this one. And I know this one's been popular with the Smash crowd and also with the upcoming release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I think this one will probably be great to play Super Mario Sunshine with too. So let's get started. Right, so looking at the box, it's pretty standard fare with an official controller. Obviously, there's the standard Switch branding and the classic white and red. Moving on to the side of the box, we've got a really nice close-up shot of the controller there. And then moving on to the back of the box, there's a pretty decent description of what we should be expecting here, and also an overview of all the buttons on the controller. So quite a nice clean presentation there. The other side of the box just has another close-up shot of the controller. And the bottom of the box is pretty nondescript, just with the barcode and legal disclaimers. Alright, so let's break this seal and see what we have got. Quite annoyingly, this has got 3 seals on it. So we'll just split those here. Now I really don't like how they do this tab inside the box and then stick a sticker over the top of it. Trying to open these up without destroying the box is an absolute nightmare. Okay, so now with the seals broken, we can open this top flap and see what we've got. And we've got 2 Energizer batteries. Excellent. Okay. So let's move these 2 top flaps here. And we can actually see the controller itself. Very good. And I quite like the design of this. Just pull the hang tag there, and it looks like everything comes out in one nice neat package. And then there we've got the controller itself, just in a little baggie. So let's get rid of this baggie real quick, and we'll take a look at the controller. So first impressions on this controller are really good. The build quality feels quite nice. The plastic that they've used is good. Obviously, the dimensions are exactly the same as an original GameCube controller, so I like that straight off the bat. The weight feels pretty good. Obviously, it doesn't have the batteries in this just yet, so we'll see how that feels with the extra weight of the batteries. But on the face of it, really, really nice. Not too much to explain on the front of the controller, though, other than the extra buttons for the home and capture. And obviously the LED indicators there. But yeah, pretty good. The back of the controller again looks exactly like an original GameCube controller. Obviously here we have the battery compartment. So we'll pop that off and see what's in there. And there is a system update required for this controller. So make sure that you are running version 6.0.1 or higher before you try and sync this with your Switch. And we've also got a couple of fairly ugly looking stickers on the back of the analog sticks there. Not too fond of that. So let's put the battery cover back on. That snaps in nicely. And you can see the sync button on the top there. Now, something I hadn't thought of, but the shoulder buttons on the original GameCube controller are obviously analog, but the Switch doesn't have analog shoulder buttons. So these buttons are actually digital. I'll be completely honest with you, I'm not too sure how I feel about this. They do feel quite nice. There's a little bit of play before the click of the button, but I think that may take a little bit of getting used to. Other than that, the D-pad and the analog sticks feel good. They're nice and tight, as I would expect with a brand new controller. Overall, on the face of it, looks pretty good. So we'll just take another look at the front of the controller there. Again, like I say, the controller layout is exactly the same as the original GameCube, just with the added buttons that bring it in line with the standard Switch controller. And here's a quick shot of the top of the controller again, and that just shows the sync button a little clearer. So now we've taken a look at the controller itself. Let's put it through its paces and we'll try some games real quick and see how it actually works. So the first game I wanted to try out was the excellent Horizon Chase Turbo. If you've not tried this game already, I highly recommend it. It's very similar to an old Outrun style game. But in this one, what I wanted to do was see how the analog stick was and how the responsiveness was. So straight away, it feels really good. The analog stick is super responsive, as I would hope with any new controller. The only concern I've really got is that there's a little bit of play in the shoulder buttons, so when I'm trying to accelerate, that little bit of play really throws you off a little bit. But other than that, the analog stick, as you can see here, is super responsive, and I would say exactly what I would have hoped for. So I'm very happy with this. So once I was done with Horizon Chase, I went back to my go-to game for testing controllers, which is the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. And more specifically today, we're going to be taking a look at Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. So I'm going into this with the knowledge that the Gamecube controller was never great for fighting games. The D-pad was really good, but the placement of it was kind of awkward. So I'm assuming that it's going to be the same. So let's get started and see. So what you're seeing here isn't the first game of Street Fighter 2 that I played through using the GameCube style controller. And I will say that playing Street Fighter 2 with this brings back some really awkward memories of trying to muddle through Capcom vs SNK 2 on the GameCube. The button placement is, as I mentioned a minute ago, super awkward. It's playable, but would I recommend it for a Street Fighter type game? No, probably not. Responsiveness though is really good. Like I say, the D-pad is super tight, so there's no issues there. It's workable, but again, not necessarily recommended for Street Fighter 2. Alright, so now we're done with Street Fighter. We're going to move into one of my games from my import collection, and this is the Psikyo Collection Volume 2, and again, more specifically, we're going to be playing Gunbird 2. So what I wanted to see here was whether the controller handled fast reactions and precise movement. And again, I'm going to be using the analog stick here. So just like in Horizon Chase, as you can see playing through this, the analog stick is really responsive and is doing everything I'm asking of it. The face buttons are super tight, so hitting those buttons isn't giving me any kind of issues. And overall, I would say if you're looking to play some arcade-style shooters, this controller will definitely be able to handle it without any issues. And then finally, I wanted to test the controller with the Ultimate Twitch game, again, just to see how it handled fast inputs and what its response time was. So I decided to go with a quick game of Tetris 99. So if you've played Tetris 99, you'll know that this game requires lightning fast inputs and you really have to rely on your controller to do the business. As you can see here, the controller's handling it incredibly well, even though my gameplay is not particularly good. But as we've seen before on the other tests, the controller is super tight with no input lag, no issues, and I really have no complaints. So I ended up spending about 3 to 4 hours with this controller in total, and overall I'm really happy with the quality of it. As you just saw, the analog sticks, D-pad and face buttons are all super responsive. I had no problems there. Build quality is really good. And overall, I'm really happy with this controller. Would I recommend this as a replacement to a Switch Pro controller? Yes, but only for certain types of games. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for Street Fighter type arcade games just because the button layout is a little bit wonky. But if you're into Smash, or just a fan of the classic GameCube controller layout, I think you'll feel right at home, and I think this would be a great replacement. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please drop us a like, and also consider subscribing. It's really helping the channel grow. And also don't forget to check us out on Twitter. Thanks for watching.